Oops. Hey, it's Trans Woman. Welcome back. All right, so to continue what I was saying earlier about music, about church music in particular, I have an idea about why I love the music that is played in black churches so much. Okay? I have an idea. I think what's going on is the reason it's such powerful, moving, amazing music is that it's very, very, very old. Older than Christianity even. The tunes, the basic melodies, the rhythms. Music is cultural. It's learned and passed on. I have an idea that if you were to take a time machine, say 50,000 years ago, and walk up to some cavemen and say, and just pick up a stick and knock on something and go, da 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 da, the caveman's gonna go, bump bump. 50,000 years ago, I bet you he would do it. Because I bet you people have been going bop, ba, da, da, bop, 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 for centuries before the Barber of Seville. It's just too damn catchy. I'm not a musical expert, but I kind of suspect there's many, many, many things that all of us humans repeat and pass on, life after life, generation after generation, and little musical snippets, sound bites, tunes, melodies, whatever you want to call them, is part of it. I'm pretty sure there were people 100,000 years ago running around saying nanny nanny boo boo. So lots of things like that. It's something to think about. Just kind of throwing it out there. So what I suspect is, I took this really interesting college course called, it was like the history of blues music and how it grew into rock and roll in the Mississippi Delta. And this professor, it was a professor at University of South Carolina about 20-something years ago I took the course. It was damned interesting. And if what I remember is correct, many of the songs that people would sing to pass the time while they were forced to work for no pay, out in the brutal sun, doing awful things for rich, lazy people, evil people. I think the tunes that people would sing when they're out there, I mean, what else would pass the time better? Can you imagine what it must have been like to be forced to do that awful work? Oh my God, that's a whole nother video. But the point I'm making is, I think maybe the people that were forced to do that stuff, they sang to pass the time. Happy sounds. To lift the spirit. Same reason soldiers sing. It's for morale. It cheers you up. It makes you feel like you're part of something, even if you're not. You know? It just helps to pass the time, if nothing else. To sing, to hum. So anyway, if you're watching this and you're somebody who's much more knowledgeable about music history than I am, because I'm sure there's many people who are, am I onto something there? Do you think it's possible that when people who were unpaid workers, when they became Christians, I think maybe some of the songs that grew out of that experience of being converted to Christianity from whatever people believed before they were forced to come here, some of those tunes might have worked their way into the Christian songwriting, I think. There were people in the Old South there making music that I have a feeling that some of these very old church hymns and things of that nature, if you strip away the words, the tune is probably not so fresh. It's probably a very old, catchy tune. I could be wrong, though. Anyway, it's just something to think about, all right? Music is important. It matters, and it's cultural. It's something that's learned and passed on and learned and passed on again, but a good tune never goes away. That's why you get it stuck in your head. So if anyone has an example of a really awesome church song, the kind that's fun to sing, the kind that makes you want to clap your hands with joy and rock out, you know, like just a fun church song that is something you would hear in a really fun black church, because I like fun. That's the kind of music that might actually get me to get in a good enough mood to hear more about your Jesus. Well, let's have some fun. Rock it out first. But I've been to churches where it puts me to sleep. It's just not fun. Get up out of your pew and shake your butt. Have some fun. Dance, sing. It's glorious. I love reading and watching and hearing people of other faiths who sing and dance for religious reasons. Like, you know what a whirling dervish is? Yeah, I need to look into that a little more. But there are people, I believe they're a sect of Islam, who dance and spin and put themselves into a trance to get in touch with the divine, the gloriously spiritual feelings that come from good religion. People who go into sweat lodges are changing, they're doing something physical to their body to try and provoke a spiritual reaction. Very interesting to me. Singing, dancing, sweating. What other kinds of things do people do to achieve that transcendence, to break out of the ordinary, everyday ho-hum? But for me, it's music that'll move me more than anything, for the most part. It is for a lot of people. But my advice is to boring MAGA hater people in boring white churches, you're not helping yourself by being boring on top of all your other blandness and bleh. Much of the way you guys present you couldn't pay me to hang out with a bunch of Methodists. I'm sorry, they look boring to me. Or Episcopalians, they're not my kind of people. White Southern Baptists scare the shit out of me. But when I walk down the sidewalk and I hear a bunch of people in a church that's mostly black and the music is good and it's swinging and it's grooving, I love that. Even if they are singing about a God I don't believe in. But you're more likely to get me to listen to you about your God if you got some good music to go with the sermon. That's all I was trying to say. Everybody have a wonderful day. Bye.